What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? SummerSlam is looming. It is tomorrow night, Nissan Stadium, Nashville, Tennessee. The biggest party of the summer is going to the Music City, and I'm here to break it all down for you before the show. And then after the show tomorrow night, I will be recording a reaction podcast. But this is the SummerSlam 2022 Prediction Cast. On the match card, we have Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. That is a last man standing match. We have Pat McAfee versus Happy Corbin. That is a regular match, but that's personal. Don't know if you knew this. Pat McAfee and Happy Corbin were teammates on the Colts back in their rookie years. Been a long time, a long relationship between those guys, long in the history. Happy Corbin laughed in Pat McAfee's face today and then kicked him in the balls on SmackDown, right in the gonads. We also have Bianca Bel-Air versus Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship. And personally, a match that I am looking forward to. Liv Morgan versus Rhonda Rousey for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Also, the Mysterios versus the Judgment Day in a no disqualification match. We have Bobby Lashley versus Theory in the United States Championship match. Logan Paul versus The Miz. And the Usos versus the Street Profits with special guest referee Double J, Jeff Jarrett. And Jey Uso might have some explaining to do, because he super kicked Jeff Jarrett tonight by accident, but still, I wonder how that's going to go over tomorrow at the show. So now that I've named the match card, let's name my predictions. For Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, it's last man standing. That means anything goes. Brock Lesnar can do whatever he wants to do to Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns can do whatever he wants to do to Brock Lesnar. Roman Reigns is in God mode. Roman Reigns is in GOAT mode. Roman Reigns is the greatest Universal Heavyweight Champion of all time. Roman Reigns is the first and only undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion. I'm going to tell you right now, I predict Roman Reigns will retain, he will win, and get 700 days as champion. Now, for Pat McAfee versus Happy Corbin, I'm intrigued in the match. I really am. I think, listen, I've seen Pat wrestle. Obviously, he wrestled Theory at WrestleMania. I really like Pat. I like Pat in the ring. I like what he brings to the company. I know he's a commentator most of the time, but I really like what he brings. The energy and his in-ring performance is really good. It really is. And so, for that reason, I will say Pat McAfee beats Happy Corbin. Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch. If you don't remember it, last year, SummerSlam 2021, that was in Vegas. Becky returned and beat Bianca in like 26 seconds. Then they had the epic rematch at WrestleMania that was stole the show match. It was one of the greatest matches I've ever seen by any performer ever, male or female. Those two killed it completely. They were absolutely incredible. I think we have something similar, though, to SummerSlam in 2021. I'm not saying it ends that quick, but I think Bianca tries to catch Becky off guard this time. But I think Becky will kick out, and I think we'll have a classic match between the two. A great match between the two. An old school Donnybrook, let's get it on between the two. Because they are going to fight until there is nothing left between these two women. Because they have a rivalry that is unmatched right now in the WWE. Now, the Mysterios versus Judgment Day. That's interesting because Rey Mysterio, obviously, Lucha Libre legend. I love Ray. I've watched Ray for so many years. He is so freaking good in the ring. He's the biggest little man in WWE. He has toppled giants. He has toppled tag teams. He's won tag team titles with a bunch of partners, but his favorite one, he won it with his son, Dominic Mysterio. I think Judgment Day win the match, though. It's a no disqualification match. Judgment Day is probably going to cheat because they got 3 members. They got Rhea Ripley. And Ray and Dom can't really touch Rhea, so I think Judgment Day gets the win at SummerSlam. Bobby Lashley versus Theory for the United States Championship is a rematch from Money in the Bank. The Money in the Bank match was okay. I didn't love it. I thought maybe they could have told a better story with it than what they did. Honestly. They really didn't give us much of a story except for them flexing and that. You know, I don't want to see 2 guys in the ring flexing on who's better. I want them to, fight it out. Fist fight. Let's get it on. Let's fight. And that just didn't happen going into Money in the Bank. And they really haven't done much with the Bobby Theory story. With Theory being Mr. Money in the Bank, they really haven't done anything with that story. I mean, they've had Theory request a rematch, and he's going to get it. But since then, they really just had Theory in segments with Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, and Drew McIntyre the last week. So, I think Bobby wins because I see Theory with a bigger picture right now. I see Theory as something bigger than the United States Championship. So I think Bobby wins and retains his title. Now, Logan Paul versus The Miz. I'm very intrigued in this match. If you have not been watching Monday Night Raw, the running joke is Miz has tiny balls. That started with Maurice saying it, so don't get mad at me and don't come at me saying that I'm trying to downgrade The Miz. I like The Miz. He's great at character work. He's excellent in the ring. And I cannot believe I'm saying this, but Logan Paul has actually proven to me he wants to do this. So for that reason, and that's the only reason, I'm going to say Logan Paul gets the win over The Miz. Because I think Miz, at this point in his career, unless they put the IC title back on him, which I don't see them doing because it's not the old original title, it's a new title. I don't see Miz as a world champion ever again. I don't see him being a tag team champion ever again. The only title I think you could put on him is the Intercontinental because he does so well with it. But other than that, he's not world champion material anymore. I still like The Miz. This is nothing against The Miz. I just think at this point in his career, I think he's kind of just being used to bring up new talent. And if Logan Paul wants to stay in WWE for a long time or they want him under contract, they got to treat him right. And so I think for that reason, Logan Paul is going to get the win. Now, the Usos versus the Street Profits. This has gotten personal. This is war. The Usos, the bloodline, the Samoan heritage, the heritage of their families. I mean, this is war now. And it has to be done at SummerSlam. I love the Usos so much. I love the Usos. I think it's time. Listen, I like Montez Ford, and I want Montez Ford to get a singles run eventually. But I want to see if they can take the Street Profits, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, put the tag team titles on them, and have a heel run, as those guys being heel characters. I think if they can do that, then it really truly will fit them. So I think for that reason, the Usos are going to lose at SummerSlam. But I think they brought in a special guest referee. It is Double J, Jeff Jarrett. I think he's going to mess up the count and maybe screw the Usos over, especially after what happened tonight. I think the Profits win, and it wouldn't be such a terrible thing to see the Profits with the tag titles again. But that's just my prediction. Now, SummerSlam surprises that could happen. These have not been confirmed, but these are surprises that I think could really truly happen. I think it's been a long time since we've seen Bayley in WWE. I think she could return and maybe during the Raw Women's Championship match or like after it and start a feud with Bianca. You know, kind of reignite their feud. I think Charlotte. I think. Did I do the Liv Rhonda match? I did not. I think Ronda Rousey wins because I think Charlotte returns and we get Ronda versus Charlotte again. She only dropped the title because she was getting married and she wanted time off, and that was the best way to do it, so she dropped the title to Ronda. Ronda carried it till we got Liv. Listen, I love, and I mean love, Liv Morgan. I have watched her story. I have watched her grow up in this business. I absolutely adore her. She is so freaking incredible in the ring. She's so good on the mic now. She's the whole package of everything you want a WWE Women's Champion to be. And I don't want to... I want to make this clear. I don't want to see them take the title off of Liv. I want to see Liv have a long run with the title. But I really truly think there's a lot of money to be made there between Ronda and Charlotte. And I think for that reason, and then if you add Becky back into the mix, I think for that reason, because of the money that's there, the money that would be left on the table, I don't see there being a whole lot of money there with Liv and Charlotte, or Liv and Becky. I really don't. I love Liv, I just don't see it right now as a whole lot of... She can bring money in. Okay, that's not a question. She can bring in money. But I don't see there being more money. There's more money to be made with Charlotte versus Ronda than there is to be made with Charlotte versus Liv. Even though Charlotte is a Flair and she'd probably carry the program, I don't see the money there with Liv right now. Now, it's not saying she's not there. I see money with Liv. Liv is money, but she's not up there with Charlotte's level yet. And I think you risk damaging Liv if you have her win the match and have her and Charlotte feud. Ronda is at Charlotte's level. Liv's not quite at Charlotte's level yet. She's almost there. I think she needs a big win over somebody like a Ronda Rousey or like a Charlotte Flair. I don't see it right now. I don't think she's at Charlotte's level yet as far as big marquee name that can carry a program. And I'm not hating on Liv Morgan. I absolutely adore her. She is so good. But Charlotte is on a different level than everybody else. And there's only two women that can really match Charlotte. And that's Becky and Ronda right now. Maybe Bianca Bel-Air. But I truly I don't see Liv right now being marquee money for the company. If she was put... Okay, it's not that I don't think Liv is great. She's great. I think you risk damaging Liv if you put her in a program with Charlotte. Because it shows the difference between megastar and fan favorite superstar. That's what it is. Now, the second thing that I think could possibly happen, Edge returns. We've been seeing the vignettes on Raw. We've been hearing that Edge is supposed to return soon. I think it finally happens. I think Edge will return at SummerSlam. I'm super excited for it. I think Theory will try to cash in on Roman or Brock, but I think he'll fail. Because I think Roman wins, and I think the Usos keep Theory from cashing in. So I think, they let him say it's a cash in, and then I think they let him kind of beat up on Roman a little bit, and then they come in and get him disqualified, and then he can't win the title. Now, Riddle is kayfabe injured, so it's not real. They've pushed the match. They want to have the match at Clash at the Castle, which I don't think makes a whole lot of sense to have Seth versus Riddle at Clash at the Castle, but that's what they want. So as of right now, Seth does not have an opponent. He's not on the card anymore. However, I think they could remake the story of Cody versus Seth at Mania and have Seth have a mystery opponent at SummerSlam. And I think that mystery opponent will be... Ready for this? Bray Wyatt. I think The Fiend returns at SummerSlam. SummerSlam was always Bray's show. I think it fits. It's a year to the day they released him. Seth needs a new opponent for SummerSlam. It fits perfect. And now that we know the injury was a kayfabe injury for Riddle, that means they have somebody waiting. It better be... If it's not Bray Wyatt, I want it to be Edge. If it's not Bray Wyatt, I want it to be Edge. Or maybe Cody Rhodes, but I'm putting Cody Rhodes out because Cody's not coming back to the Royal Rumble. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is my SummerSlam prediction show. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about my predictions, and if y'all want to hate on me for what I said about Liv Morgan, go ahead. It was no hate towards Liv. I love Liv. Live, love, laugh. She's great. But she's not the mega star yet. She's a fan favorite star. I'm a fan of hers. But she's not that mega star just yet. Anyway. Good night, everybody. And again, SummerSlam. Good night, good morning, whenever you hear this. And again, SummerSlam tomorrow night, July 30th, Nissan Stadium, Nashville, Tennessee. It's going to be the biggest party of the summer, and it's going to be packed. Watch it on the Peacock, or you can watch it on the WWE Network, wherever you're at. If you're in the U.S., it's on Peacock. If you're anywhere else in the world, it's on WWE Network. Peace!